Welcome to the deep dive. Have you ever wondered why, um, in a world absolutely bursting with information, with endless opportunities to learn, why so many of us still, struggle to acquire new skills quickly?
Hmm.
Think about it. Just 20 years ago, learning something new might have meant a literal trek to a library, hours flipping through encyclopedias.
Right, or expensive classes.
Exactly. Expensive scheduled classes. Today, knowledge on almost any topic is instantly accessible. There are cheap, often free tutorials online for nearly any skill you can imagine.
Yeah, it's
You
incredible.
can build expertise, even get certified, all from your living room. So if all these tools are right there, accessible, easy to use, why aren't we all becoming polymaths overnight?
That's really the fundamental question, isn't it? That's what we're diving into today. What it really takes to learn something optimally, efficiently, and in the shortest time possible.
Okay.
Because the traditional way, the passive schooling method many of us grew up with, memorize and regurgitate, often leaves us, well, ill-equipped for real-world self-learning.
Right, it doesn't quite translate.
Not really. So this deep dive is about cutting through that noise, providing a clear, actionable path to becoming truly well-informed and skilled. And our core source for this exploration is The Science of Rapid Skill Acquisition by Peter Hollins.
Got it.
As he puts it, and I think this is profound, learning new skills represents the ability to change your life and circumstances from top to bottom.
Wow. And that sets the stage for a truly transformative journey, doesn't it? We're going to challenge some assumptions you might have about how learning works, maybe uncover some surprising facts, and arm you with practical strategies you can apply immediately to shape your life and gain new abilities. Let's dive in.
Let's do it.
So, given this incredible access to information we just talked about, why does learning how to learn effectively matter so much right now?
Well, because the very convenience of self-learning can actually be a bit of a trap if you don't approach it strategically. It's no longer just about what you learn, but how you learn it. Consider a friend of mine. After 10 years of marriage, a divorce left her without a job or, marketable skills.
That's tough.
Really tough. Faced with that drastic life change, she didn't enroll in some costly program she couldn't afford. Instead, she taught herself how to make jewelry, step by step, through online resources, focused practice.
Wow. Just on her own?
Mostly, yeah. And within 3 years of launching her custom-made jewelry business, she was able to purchase her own home. Her craft, well, it certainly didn't improve from just regurgitating information. It was built on active, self-directed learning.
That's an incredible story. And for you, the listener, it highlights something really important right from the start, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Activating your self-will, taking ownership of your progress, becoming wholly engaged. These aren't just necessary for self-learning. They also translate directly to how satisfying your life feels.
Right, that intrinsic motivation.
Yeah, regardless of your age, background, whatever,
Yeah.
the sense of accomplishment is huge. But this ability to self-learn can also dramatically improve your job situation, fulfill personal ambitions, open doors to even more skills.
It reminds me actually of my own history with piano lessons.
Oh, yeah.
Like many kids, I was encouraged to play. I played for 7 years, but I was, let's be generous, average.
Uh-huh. I know the feeling.
Right. Stuck inside, plunking away during beautiful summer months with an intense lack of patience. But then I had a friend who started around the same time, and his progress was just astounding.
Really?
Yeah, he advanced every year, while I barely made it every other. Now, talent aside, it was clear he was far more regimented. Practice, rehearsal, discipline.
Okay.
I even heard his mother, a former collegiate tennis player, was quite strict. Apparently had a rather firm hand with a wooden back scratcher for motivation.
Whoa. Okay. That's memorable. And it perfectly emphasizes your point, doesn't it? Understanding how to learn more efficiently is the absolute key. It's not just raw talent or initial willingness.
Exactly. It's about the method.
So, okay, we've got the mindset.
Yeah.
The next logical question for anyone starting out is, where do I even begin? And that starts with choosing what to learn, especially when you're not being told by someone else. For many of us, that's kind of new territory.
It really is. Now, look, learning for learning's sake is perfectly valid. Sometimes you're just curious, and that's great.
Sure.
But if you're trying to optimize your time and, your mental bandwidth, it's often more satisfying, maybe more profitable, more freeing to focus on skills that can increase your happiness, your bankability,
Right, practical stuff.
or capitalize on a strength you already have. enhance a life purpose, make the most of an opportunity, or even just help you cope with a life circumstance.
You give some examples.
Sure, like maybe your company offers to reimburse you for mastering video editing. That's an external factor.
Okay.
Or you have a friend who's an expert gardener willing to mentor you. Or maybe there's a low-risk job opening that'll actually pay you while you learn a programming language.
Learning on the job.
Exactly. And then there are those sweeping life changes, a company downsizing, becoming a parent, getting a new diagnosis. These often beget the question, what if? And they can be really powerful opportunities to learn something new if you frame them that way.
Welcome those opportunities.
Okay.
So once you've decided on the what, you need a framework, right, to set realistic expectations. As I was digging into this, one thing that really opened my eyes was this idea of the 4 stages of learning. It helped me see where I was.
Oh, absolutely. That framework is crucial. Let's walk through them, maybe using the piano example again.
Perfect.
Okay, first stage, unconscious incompetence. This is the classic you don't know what you don't know.
Right. Blissfully ignorant.
Exactly. With the piano, you know what it looks like, sounds like, but you're totally unaware of reading music, finger movements, scales. You just don't even recognize the knowledge gaps yet.
Okay, stage 1.
Stage 2, conscious incompetence. Now, you know what you don't know, but you still can't really do anything about it effectively. You're starting to grasp the complexity.
Okay, the awareness is dawning.
Right. You might know basic notes, some scales, maybe read simple music, but you're painstakingly slow with new pieces, struggling with fingering. You're definitely not breaking out the Rachmaninoff yet.
Not quite.
You can spot your deficiencies, but the capability isn't there.
Got it. Stage 3.
Conscious competence. Now, you know what you need to know, and you can actually do it, but it still takes effort and focus. You're becoming proficient.
Okay, things are clicking, but it's work.
Exactly. You might have a regular practice schedule, understand intricate music theory, maybe play some pieces by ear, but complex stuff might still need sheet music. Your muscle memory isn't quite there for like outrageously fast pieces, but you are capable and you're aware of your process.
Right, and the final stage?
Unconscious competence. This is mastery. You can perform the skill without even thinking about it.
Effortless.
Pretty much. You're an expert. Fingers move with incredible speed, precision. You play almost anything by ear, memorize complex pieces after a few listens. You kind of disappear into the instrument.
Like playing Carnegie Hall level.
Yeah, or getting Grammy nominations, Elton John calling you for advice. Maybe not that far for everyone, but the skill is totally internalized.
Yeah.
Second nature.
What stands out to you about these stages? For me, it was that jump from knowing, I don't know, to actually doing it. Even if it's still hard, recognizing these stages is just so valuable for expectations.
Totally agree. It prevents you from getting discouraged too early, thinking you should be further along than you are.
Exactly. And once you understand where you are, the next crucial step is breaking down that potentially overwhelming what into smaller bits.
Which brings us to deconstruction.
Precisely. Deconstruction is kind of a power move in strategic planning. You break down the big skill into smaller subskills.
Okay.
But the real insight here is to prioritize the relatively small number of subskills that are absolutely vital. Often it's like the 80-20 rule. Maybe 20% of the subskills give you 80% of the results. Focusing on those creates a kind of domino effect.
Ah, the Pareto principle in learning. You got it. For language learning, Gabriel Weiner advises focusing on the 1,000 or so most common words first. That gives you like 70% text coverage in most situations. Huge bang for your buck.
Right.
Or, say, for German, you might identify the 300 most commonly used German words based on why you're learning at work, a trip, talking to a friend, and really drill those.
Makes sense? Focus on what matters most to you.
Yeah. Or for guitar, instead of trying every song, you'd prioritize finger dexterity, reading music, rhythm, hand strength. Dedicate more time to those foundational things.
Okay, deconstruction first. Then you actually need to get the information. We hear a lot about mixed styles and mediums, but you mentioned there are some misconceptions here.
Yeah, there are. You know, concepts like rigid learning styles or left brain, right brain dominance, those have been largely disproven. The important caveat, though, is that information is just information, however it's presented.
So does it matter if I read or listen?
Well, what does matter immensely is your focus and attention. That's what determines absorption. So whether you read a book or listen to the same thing on audio might matter less than how engaged you actually are with it.
Ah, okay. Engagement is key.
Right. Now, frameworks like the Solomon-Felder Index from '96, they offer useful tools, not rigid prescriptions. Like, think about active versus reflective learners.
Okay.
An active learner might jump right into woodworking, learn by doing, get their hands dirty. A reflective learner, they might first analyze the plans, research wood types, meticulously plan the paint. Neither is better, but knowing your tendency helps you set up your learning better.
Got it. So use different approaches based on what helps you focus.
Exactly. And the learning pyramid also gives us clues about retention rates, which is where mixing mediums strategically comes in.
Okay, tell me about that.
So passive methods like just reading or listening to a lecture, pretty low retention, maybe 5–10%. But you can make them active by connecting the material to your own ideas, taking notes, questioning it.
Right, be active even when passive.
Yeah. Then you move up. Audio-visual, like watching a demo,
Yeah.
maybe 20% retention. Group discussion jumps to 50% because you're exchanging ideas, clarifying things.
Okay, getting better.
Real-life experience actually doing the thing. Now we're at 75%. Huge leap.
Makes sense. Practice.
But the most powerful method, according to this model, teaching others, that hits 90% retention.
90%. Why so high?
Because it forces you to organize your thoughts, anticipate questions, explain it simply. It ruthlessly exposes any gaps in your knowledge.
You can't hide when you have to teach it.
Exactly. Think about learning to make sushi. You could start with cookbooks, lectures, low retention, then watch YouTube videos, maybe Jiro Dreams of Sushi, better, audiovisual.
Okay.
Then attend hands-on classes, discuss techniques with classmates, discussion, experience.
Right, getting practical.
Finally, teach your friends how to roll sushi or make your own videos. That act of teaching just cements everything.
That's a great example. So it's way more than just passively soaking up info. It's about strategically knowing how to gather information and resources to really get a grip on a topic.
Precisely. And there's a methodical way to do this research, 5 steps that really help you gain comprehensive understanding.
Okay, let's hear them.
First, gather information. Just collect anything and everything from as wide a range of sources as you can manage. Don't filter too much yet. Click all the links. You might actually feel more confused after this stage than when you started. That's normal.
Okay, cast a wide net.
Step 2, filter your sources. Now you get critical. Identify intent, quality. Is this a good source with solid data, confirmable truth, or a bad source relying on emotion, hyperbole, misleading data? And crucially, don't confuse anecdote with evidence.
Yeah.
Separate the mainstream views from minority or even crackpot ideas.
Right, quality control.
Third, look for patterns and overlap. As you review, notice what keeps coming up. Recurring topics, stances, ideas. When you see a point repeated by multiple credible sources, it's a good sign that you should consider it a major point or theme.
Finding the core ideas.
Fourth, seek dissenting opinions. This one is hugely important. Why? To fight confirmation bias, our tendency to just see what we already believe.
Oh, avoiding the echo chamber.
Exactly. By now, you probably have a theory forming. Actively look for sources that disagree with it. Get the full nuanced picture.
Okay, challenge your own assumptions.
And finally, fifth, synthesize your expertise, the ultimate test. Can you put it all together? Can you explain it, including the disagreements like X, Y, and Z because, however, A, B, and C because? If you can't, you might need to revisit the earlier steps.
Okay, that makes sense. Gather, filter, find patterns, seek dissent, synthesize. That feels like a solid research plan. Now, you have the knowledge. It's time for the hard part. Practice. And you mentioned true practice is difficult, tedious, sometimes painful. But the struggle is where the learning happens.
That's absolutely spot on. The more you struggle, the more your brain adapts and learns. Let's talk about some specific practice methods. First, deliberate practice.
Okay.
This isn't just mindless repetition. It's purposeful, systematic. It's about drilling isolated trouble spots with intense, focused attention to improve overall performance. Think surgical strikes on your weaknesses.
Like zoning in on the hard part.
Exactly. Cal Newport, the computer science prof, mastered discrete math by copying propositions, working proofs, getting feedback, and aggressively reviewing the ones he got wrong over and over. Highest grade in the class.
Wow. That's dedication.
It is. For a piano player, instead of playing a whole song and stumbling over the same tricky part, deliberate practice means you stop everything else and drill only that weak spot until it's solid.
Okay. Focused repetition on weaknesses.
Right. And it takes repetition.
Yeah.
Muscle memory might need 1,000 reps for simple things, maybe up to 30,000 for really complex skills. It's purposeful struggle.
Got it. What's next?
Then there's interleaved practice. This one feels a bit counterintuitive.
Awesome.
Our instinct is often to practice one thing in big blocks, like AAA. Interleaving mixes related skills within one session, like ABC.
So instead of just scales for an hour, mix scales, chords, picking.
Exactly. Or an algebra student switching between exponents, graphing, radicals in one study session. Or studying Shakespeare's comedies, then tragedies, then histories, rather than all comedies at once.
Why does that work better?
It seems to improve the brain's ability to discriminate between concepts. Because you can't just rely on rote memory or automated responses, your brain has to work harder to retrieve the right information each time you switch. It makes the learning stickier.
Forces deeper processing.
Right. Just a caution. Interleaving isn't the same as multitasking. Don't jump between total unrelated things. Stick to subjects that can spur connections, like art theory, art technique, art history.
Okay, interleaved practice. What else?
Space repetition or distributed practice. This basically says frequency is way better for memory than duration.
Yeah.
5 minutes a day beats an hour once a week. So much for cramming.
Right. Cramming doesn't work long term.
Nope. If you're studying, say, Spanish history, multiple short active recall sessions spread through the week, maybe just 75 minutes total extra study time, are dramatically more effective than one long slog. It pushes info from short-term to long-term memory.
To little and often.
Exactly. Quick tips. Review at least once a day, maybe twice. Measure in reps, not just time. Use active recall flashcards, quizzing yourself. And try reviewing for 15 minutes before sleep. Seems to help consolidation.
Good tip. Okay, one more practice method.
Yeah, problem-based learning, or PBL. This flips things around. You force learning through the process of solving that problem. You set a goal, solving Y, that requires you to learn a skill X.
Give me an example.
Well, Peter Hollins jokes he learned Spanish Y to solve the problem of X, Jessica. Clear motivation.
Uh-huh.
More seriously, it started in medical schools in the 60s. They used real patient cases, the problem, to train doctors, forcing them to learn diagnostic skills, the skill along the way.
Learning by necessity.
Right. Think of the broken toaster example. Goal. Fix the toaster. Why? This forces you to learn basic electronics. X. You define the problem, figure out what you know, gather info, take it apart, find a manual, watch YouTube, then try to fix it.
So the problem drives the learning.
Exactly. Advantages. Better retention, deeper understanding, and it often saves you time and often money, too, because you're learning exactly what you need to solve the problem at hand.
Okay, lots of powerful practice methods.
Yeah.
But you could be practicing deliberately, interleaving, spacing it out, and still be doing it wrong.
Right.
This is where self-assessment comes in.
Absolutely critical. All the practice won't help if you're reinforcing bad habits or mistakes. You have to evaluate yourself.
How do you do that effectively?
Well, the author shares a pretty vivid story, a near-death experience during a driving lesson.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he didn't check his blind spot, swerved, hit the accelerator instead of the brake, ran a red light. Scary stuff. But he uses it to frame these 10 questions that provide a progressive and effective sketch of how to assess yourself after you make a mistake. Things like,
Okay, what should we ask ourselves?
what was the cause of the mistake? Was it strategy or method? What should you have done differently? Were there warning signs you missed? Did you make assumptions that turned out wrong?
Getting specific.
Yeah. And crucially, has making this mistake revealed any blind spots or skills you need to practice more? How will you do things differently moving forward? And maybe, if you saw someone else making a similar mistake, how would you advise them?
That last one forces objectivity.
Exactly. The key through all this is brutal honesty. Own your actions, don't make excuses, and learn the lesson. As Oprah says, when you lose, don't lose the lesson.
Powerful advice. Okay, so we've practiced, we've self-assessed, but true mastery requires really deep comprehension, right?
Yeah.
And that can also be tough, taxing work.
Yeah.
How do we ensure we really understand, not just memorize facts?
That's a great point. Deep comprehension is another level. There are a few methods for this. First, elaborative interrogation.
Okay, sounds intense.
It's basically self-interrogation, focusing on why and how questions. It pushes you beneath the surface, helps you find knowledge blind spots.
So not just what happened, but why it happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Studying the Great Depression, don't just ask what was it, ask what caused it. Why did the stock market crash? What was margin selling, and why was that a problem? It can be a rabbit hole, but it forces deep thinking.
Got it. Dig deeper with why. What else?
The Feynman technique. Named after the physicist Richard Feynman, the great explainer. It's a fantastic mental model to check your understanding and find gaps.
How does it work?
4 steps. 1, choose your concept. Let's say gravity.
Okay.
2, write down an explanation in plain, simple English, like explain it to a 5-year-old. This immediately shows what you really get. If you're using jargon or complex terms, you might not understand it deeply enough.
Right. Simplicity equals understanding.
3, find your blind spots. What couldn't you explain simply? Go back and research that.
Fill in the gaps.
4, use an analogy. Can you compare it to something simple? For gravity, maybe like a heavy ball on a trampoline making a dip that pulls marbles towards it. That analogy shows true understanding.
Choose. Explain simply. Find gaps. Analogize.
Oh, okay, I like that.
That's incredibly effective. And third, there's Bloom's taxonomy. Think of this as a personal barometer for your comprehension level.
A barometer. How?
It's a hierarchy of learning levels. Remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. You have to master the lower levels before you can move up.
Like steps on a ladder.
Exactly. Before you can understand a concept, you must remember it. To apply a concept, you must first understand it, and so on. So if you're stuck just understanding something, Bloom's tells you the next step is applying it, use it, solve problems with it, demonstrate it. It guides your next learning actions.
That's useful for figuring out what to do next. Now, all these methods for deep comprehension, they sound effective, but also like work.
They are work. So how do you stay motivated? This connects back to something you mentioned earlier, the curiosity muscle.
Yes. Recapturing that dormant sense of curiosity is probably your greatest weapon in learning. It's what keeps you going when sheer self-discipline runs out.
Right. Discipline wavers, but curiosity can pull you forward.
Exactly. Todd Kashdan talks about dimensions of curiosity, joyous exploration, just learning for fun, social curiosity, being interested in people, like people watching, and thrill-seeking.
Thrill-seeking curiosity.
Yeah, I think Richard Branson and his 76 near-death experiences, that's an extreme example, obviously. But the point is, some curiosity is automatic, some needs conscious effort. Cultivating it is key for motivation.
Okay, so internal drive, practice methods.
Yeah.
But what about the world around us? You hinted that our environment, social and physical, has a powerful, maybe overlooked influence.
Well, massively powerful. Let's start with social. Your social circle can make or break you. Seriously?
That's strongly.
Yeah, there's compelling evidence. A New England Journal of Medicine study followed over 12,000 people for 32 years. Found that obesity literally spread among friends.
Wow.
If a friend became obese, your chances increased by 57%. If it was a very close friend, 171% higher chance.
That's staggering. It shows the huge influence, as you say.
It really does. So implication 1, no negative Nancys. If people around you are constantly discouraging, saying you can't do that, you really have to consider, well, showing them the door. Their negativity genuinely seeps into your own worldview.
Surround yourself with support, or at least neutrality.
Right. Second, find role models. But don't just admire them. Observe their actions and behaviors. How do they practice? How do they handle setbacks? And try to choose models who learned from scratch and struggled.
Why is that better? Yeah.
Because someone who struggled, say, a 5'8" pro basketball player versus a 7'2" natural, they probably had to break down the skill more consciously. They can explain it better than someone for whom it came easily.
They know the steps because they had to climb them. Makes sense.
Third, seek out mentors. They're invaluable. They can spot flaws you miss, test the limits of your skills, provide crucial encouragement. If you can't find a formal mentor, maybe build a personal board of directors, people you trust for advice in different areas.
Good idea. Like a personal advisory council.
Yeah. And finally, look for community hotbeds. These are immersive environments where a skill thrives. Think historically, like Florence's craft guilds for artists, with apprenticeship systems concentrating talent.
Okay. Like a whole ecosystem for the skill.
Exactly. Or think Brazilian futsal, that small, heavy ball, indoor soccer game. It forces incredible precision and close control, which is why so many Brazilian soccer legends grew up playing it. Modern examples, meetup groups for coding, writing, cooking, find places where the skill is practiced at a high level.
Immerse yourself. Okay, so people matter hugely. What about the physical environment?
Also critical. The advice here is basically design your learning habitat assuming the absolute worst about your own self-discipline.
Okay, design for your lazy self.
Pretty much. There was a Cornell study, Brian Wansink, 2006. They found just changing plate size by 2 inches, making it slightly smaller led people to eat 22% less food. A tiny, minuscule adjustment with major impacts.
Wow. Small changes, big results.
Exactly. So apply that. Make your guitar a permanent place in the middle of a room instead of packed in its case. Put your gym bag right by the front door. Hide the unhealthy snacks. Maybe put chocolate in 5 containers like a Russian nesting doll to make it harder to get to.
Okay. Increase friction for bad habits. Decrease it for good ones.
You got it. Use a standing desk if sitting makes you lazy. Remove chairs from your practice space if you need to be active. The goal is make your surroundings as foolproof as possible and keep distractions in another room. Design your environment to support your learning goals.
That's really practical advice.
Yeah.
Okay, as we're nearing the end of this deep dive, let's talk about something crucial in today's world. Skill stacking. You mentioned being top 1% in one skill is unlikely for most of us.
Right. It's incredibly difficult. Skill stacking, an idea popularized by Scott Adams, Dilbert's creator, is about becoming very, say, top 5, 15% in multiple skills that work well together.
So not necessarily world-class in one thing, but excellent in several complementary things.
Exactly. Think, imagining you were Mozart versus being a studio musician who can play 4 instruments in a pinch. That studio musician is incredibly valuable because of their versatility.
Right.
There was a Boston Consulting Group study that found companies with more diverse skill sets and backgrounds produced 19% more revenue. Diversity of skills pays off.
Interesting.
Skill stacking makes you absolutely unique and incredibly valuable in the job market and irreplaceable because that specific combination of skills is rare. You find and learn gap skills.
So how can you, the listener, actually stack your skills? What does that look like?
Well, the cool thing is you probably already have a skill stack you just haven't recognized or named. Yeah. Think about a stockbroker. Core skills. Communicating. Calculating. Now, add a foreign language, maybe Chinese or German. Then add deeper knowledge of a specific market, like biotech, that combination. It exponentially multiplied their bankability with what might seem like deceptively easy extra effort for each added skill.
Ah, the synergy between the skills.
Yeah, exactly. Or think of a skilled draftsperson. Okay, good skill, but add proficiency in multiple mediums, plus a highly functional memory, plus a background in art theory or mythology. Now you have this uncommon trifecta.
How hard to replace?
Way harder. Each added skill creates a more and more selective Venn diagram of people who have that exact combo. It helps you spot your unique niche and identify those gap skills that would make you stand out even more.
Okay, skill stacking. Very powerful concept. Now, let's address maybe the biggest pitfall for anyone trying to learn something new. Expecting it to be easy.
Oh, absolutely. The simple, hard truth is nothing is easy. And so much discouragement comes from just having unrealistic expectations.
Believing the hype about overnight success.
Exactly. You won't instinctively know French cooking. It might take a few days to even cut onions correctly. Set reasonable expectations. Don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. But also don't set expectations too low either, or you won't push yourself.
Finding that balance.
Yeah. Recognize it's a long road ahead. There are no shortcuts. I love that Zig Ziglar quote. The elevator to success is out of order, but the stairs are always available.
Gotta take the stairs.
Gotta take the stairs. And understand that everything you want represents a sacrifice. Could be small, giving up some leisure time. Could be large, less time with family, changing habits you've had for years.
Right. There's always a trade-off.
Always. Think of 2 people learning website building. One makes sacrifices, takes extensive courses, does hours of hands-on practice, cuts back on browsing time. Their skills become complete, practice, and expert. The other takes the easiest routes possible, maybe just uses templates. Their range stays limited. You just can't have your cake and eat it too. Learning takes effort and sacrifice.
A crucial reality check. And related to that, another mindset shift you mentioned is embracing constant confusion. That sounds unpleasant.
It is uncomfortable. Learning, especially at the beginning, is uncomfortable and decidedly not pleasurable a lot of the time. Michael Geld talks about confusion endurance, the ability to just persist through the mess and confusion.
Confusion endurance, I like that term.
Think of walking into a super messy room. Your first reaction might be overwhelm, bewilderment. You have to endure that initial chaos to start seeing a path to organizing it. Learning is often like that.
Okay. Persist through the fog.
Yeah. And cultivating a beginner's mindset helps here too. Slowing down and paying attention to what you've ignored, seeing things fresh without the burden of assumptions.
Okay. And finally, the most practical step perhaps, making time for learning. We're all busy. How do we actually do it?
Yeah, the easiest way to set aside time is to schedule it. Sounds simple, but it's vital.
Don't just hope you'll find the time.
Exactly. Consistency is so important, especially early on. Don't rely on fickle willpower. Treat your practice schedule like it's written in pen. Make it untouchable. Maybe even schedule your entire day around it.
Really block it out.
Yeah. Our source gives an example. Post-work pottery practice, 7:45 p.m. to 9:00 p.m. consistently. Doing that instills self-discipline and responsibility. It makes learning a non-negotiable part of your routine.
Make it a habit. Got it.
Yeah,
Wow. We have covered a ton today.
we really have.
From foundational mindsets, strategic planning like deconstruction, those effective practice methods, deliberate, interleaved, spaced, PBL, powerful tools for deep comprehension like Feynman, the huge influence of your environment, both people and place, and finally, managing expectations, embracing confusion and sacrifice, and just making the time. It feels like a complete roadmap.
It really covers the key principles from Hollins' work. It's about being strategic, being deliberate, and being persistent.
So let's bring it home. A final thought for you, our listener.
Okay. If we connect all this to the bigger picture, given all these insights, all these tools for rapid skill acquisition we've discussed, what single skill will you commit to starting this week? And maybe more importantly, what specific method or mindset shift we talked about will you prioritize to make that learning really, truly stick?
That's a great question to ponder. Take a moment to reflect on that. Apply these powerful principles to your own life and just watch your ability to learn and grow transform.